Ladies and gentlemen, today we step into the heart of Iraq's currency crisis, where the official exchange rate is only half the story. Behind the scenes, in alleyways, crowded markets, and back offices, another economy is alive and thriving, the black market for dollars. And today, that black market is making headlines once again, as exchange rates soar to record highs, leaving ordinary Iraqis caught in the middle. So what is driving this surge? At the core lies a simple but painful reality. Iraq is facing a shortage of US dollars. Despite being an oil-rich nation that earns billions in petrodollars every month, strict US oversight on Iraq's banking system has slowed the flow of dollars into the country. Washington wants to prevent money laundering and ensure that funds aren't slipping into the hands of sanctioned groups or neighboring Iran. This means every transaction, every transfer, is monitored, approved, and sometimes delayed. The result? Fewer dollars available inside Iraq. But Iraqis need dollars. Businesses rely on them for imports, families depend on them for remittances, and traders prefer them for stability. When banks cannot supply enough dollars at the official rate, demand spills into the black market. And there, prices climb quickly. Today, those black market exchange rates have hit record highs, far above the official rates set by the Central Bank of Iraq. For ordinary citizens, this means higher costs for food, fuel, rent, and even medicine. For traders, it means tighter profit margins and greater uncertainty. And for the government, it means a loss of credibility. The black market, once a shadowy side business, has now become the main source of dollars for many Iraqis. But its soaring rates are a warning sign, a sign that the country's currency policies, banking restrictions, and dollar dependency are colliding in dangerous ways. Now that we've set the stage, let's dive deeper into what's really happening behind Iraq's record-high black market exchange rates. The first question we must ask is simple. Why does the black market exist at all? In theory, the Central Bank of Iraq provides dollars at an official exchange rate to meet demand. But in practice, those dollars are limited, tightly controlled, and increasingly difficult to access. U.S. regulators, concerned about money laundering and financing of groups in Iran, Syria, and beyond, have placed heavy restrictions on how dollars flow through Iraq's financial system. This means ordinary businesses, importers, and even families who need dollars for school tuition or medical expenses abroad often cannot get enough from official banks. When the doors to the official supply narrow, people naturally turn to the unofficial market. And this is where things spiral. In Baghdad, Erbil, Basra, and other cities, informal currency dealers have stepped in to meet the gap. These black market dealers charge far higher rates because demand is desperate. Every day, the price fluctuates based on availability. Today, those rates have hit new records, in some places as much as 10 to 15% above the official government exchange rate. For the average Iraqi, this means a loaf of bread, a tank of fuel, or a prescription medicine suddenly costs more. Inflation is creeping in not because global oil prices are too low, but because the dollar inside Iraq has become too expensive. Now let's zoom out and see the bigger picture. Iraq earns billions of dollars every month through oil exports. That money doesn't simply flow directly into Baghdad. Most of it passes through the U.S. Federal Reserve System, where Washington maintains oversight. This unique arrangement gives America enormous leverage. If it tightens restrictions, fewer dollars enter Iraq's banking system, and the shortage intensifies. The U.S. argues this is necessary to fight corruption and prevent illicit transfers. But for Iraqis on the street, it feels like punishment, fueling anger toward both their own leaders and foreign powers. In this tense environment, the black market thrives not only as an economic tool but also as a symbol of mistrust. Iraqis no longer trust that their government can guarantee stability. Traders don't trust that banks can meet their needs. And families don't trust that tomorrow's exchange rate will be anything like today's. The black market becomes not just a fallback option. It becomes the reality. What happens next? The Central Bank of Iraq faces limited options. It can try to inject more dollars into the official market, but that requires U.S. approval. It can tighten controls, arrest dealers, and raid exchange shops. But history shows this only drives the trade deeper underground. It can attempt to promote the use of the Iraqi dinar instead of the dollar, But decades of reliance on dollars make this a difficult cultural and financial shift, and it can lean on digital payments and reforms to slowly reduce cash dependency. A long-term strategy that does little for the crisis today. So we're left with a dangerous imbalance. A country with massive oil wealth on paper, but a cash shortage on the streets. The longer this continues, the more Iraqis will lose confidence in the dinar, and the more they will cling to the dollar, no matter the cost. Inflation could rise, poverty could worsen, and political tensions could boil over. And indeed, whispers of protest are already growing. In marketplaces, in tea shops, in family homes, people are asking, why are we suffering when our country is rich? This is not just an economic problem, it is a political one. Every time the black market rate climbs, it erodes trust in leadership, in reforms, and in the very idea that Iraq can manage its own economy independently. Now let's compare this situation with history. In many countries, from Lebanon to Venezuela, black market exchange rates have been an early warning sign of deeper economic collapse. Once people lose faith in the official rate, the unofficial rate becomes the real one. Prices across the economy adjust accordingly, and the government loses its grip. Iraq has not yet reached that extreme, but the path is familiar. And unless swift, credible reforms are enacted, the risk of following that path grows. So what does the future hold? The most likely scenario is continued pressure, with black market rates remaining high until either U.S. restrictions ease or Iraq takes bold steps to reduce dollar dependency. These steps could include stronger support for local production, wider adoption of the dinar in daily transactions, or new agreements with foreign partners to diversify currency reserves. But none of these will be quick fixes. For now, the black market is Iraq's thermometer, measuring the heat of its economic instability. Each spike in rates is a warning signal, a reminder that the country's wealth and its people's well-being are out of sync. Until Iraq can align its oil wealth with financial stability and independence, the black market will remain king. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the story of Iraq's black market is not just about currency. It is about sovereignty, trust, and survival. The dollar shortage is pushing exchange rates to record highs, but behind those numbers lies a deeper truth: Iraq's struggle to reclaim control of its economy and its future.